Hello, and welcome back to Sakura Moyu, and let's get started with today's read-through.
そんなことがあったのか。すごいな。
They really got a very prolific voice actor for this one. Taking reports from him, who always watches over Chiwa from near and far, I couldn't help but smile bitterly. The boy that our beloved daughter chose, Kanade Taiga.
なかなかにめちゃくちゃなことをする子だね。うん。私は気に入ったよ。その少年になら、あの子を任せられるかもしれない。
Making Chiwa cry once, I really thought something was wrong with him as I watched over her anxiously. What do you mean watch over her? So, what do you mean watch?
チワのためにいっぱい悩んで覚悟を決めて、精一杯の行動力でチワをつなぎ止めようともがいてくれた。十分だ。これ以上はない。私はそう思えたよ。
What about you?
あなたは、あの少年はチワと共にこれからの人生を歩んでいってくれるものとして認めることはできないかな。
I asked that, to the deep darkness that descended without a sound. Without turning back, I just know that you're there. The darkness creeping into my back whispered in my ears. Ah, it's about time. All right.
そうか。私の役割もここまでか。
It was long. It was really long. Really, really long. I gently touched the canvas that I leaned against.
やり遂げたよ。
Were you watching? Did I do it well?
でも、教えてほしい。
I think I had done it mostly out of obligation, but
こんなことに、今さらどんな意味があったのかな。
I closed my eyes. A darkness deeper than the one approaching my back expands.
あと少しだけ猶予をやろう。
Hey, I know this voice actor. There are two awesome voice actors in this VN. Okay, A-listers, two A-listers. Jesus Christ. The moment I heard the voice, I was like, oh shit, it's Kyun. Denwa. Anyway, that whisper caressed my ear, then disappeared. I see. Just a bit more. Thank you. I wonder, how many memories can I make with her? With my dear Chiwa in the end. I was surely content being able to think that. What is going on? I guess this must be Chiwa's two fathers or something like that. Remember they mentioned that she had two fathers or something? I haven't been able to get Kuro on the phone recently. I've been aimlessly thinking about that. I wanted to tell you about Chiwa. You, before anyone else. I used the old style ketai in my hand once again. How many times have I even typed her number today? 96. I don't really have to say what it means, but It reads Kuro. No area code is needed at all. It doesn't use regular radio waves, Denpa, in the first place. Just by calling the set number, it will always connect to the ketai you are holding. This is that kind of maho. Even then. Kodokanai. I hear the ring. But no matter how much I waited, you never responded. I'm curious.
私が意地悪したから。
You said that last call and hung up. Depressed. That's why I wanted to report to you all the more. I reconcile with Chiwa, my Mirai. I don't know Kuro's Noruku. Chikara. It's Chikara, not Noruku. Noruku's ability. These special cats that come close to the troubled mankind has special powers. Toya can let me see the future, up to 10 seconds ahead. Asai-san has cure. I think the better word here is heal, but okay. Any wounds can heal back to normal. But what about Kuro? I still don't know your power. But now, not being able to call you is a bigger problem. Once again, I tried to enter 9-6 on my exclusive ketai once again.
そんなにぼーっとしなくても平気だよ、タイガ。
There I was suddenly called. I returned back to my senses and turned around.
心配しなくても、チワはすぐ帰ってくるよ。ただ遊びに行ってるだけでしょ。だから、ほら。お仕事をサボりしてないで、ご注文だよ、タイガ。
Holding my ketai that won't connect. I'm indulged alone in my thoughts, and seems that this side of me called for a misunderstanding. I put the ketai in my uniform's pocket. Then, standing straight, I held my pen and slipped, and smiled. What can I get you? I'm not treating you this time.
きっち。
She shows her white teeth, then she draws closer to Tomohito, sitting next to her. Hey, please! Haru had a weary smile seeing that. Right now, I am doing floor stat work at Chiwa's cafe for the entire day, all alone. It's after school now. It is about time for the place to be crowded soon.
タイガは本当にケチだよ。あんなに私たち、タイガのお手伝い頑張ったのに。それなのに、お礼もないなんて。
Hiyori grumbles, inflating her cheeks. Help! Back when I shouted from the roof of the school, I requested them to set it up. First, Haru told all the students about what is going to happen and called everyone to the schoolyard. And there's a messaging app on the ketai. It is famous and most people use it. Each class has a community in it and is used to communicate about school events and such information. I got Tomohito to arrange the mic and the acoustics, although it's not as huge as it sounds. As for Hiyori, what did she do?
ひどい。私も協力したよ。ちゃんとお役に立ったよ。
She took offense.
チワにどうぞってマイク渡したのは誰だと思う？何を隠そう。この私なのだ。
She's proud.
その働きは、このお店の全メニューを無料提供してもらってもなお足らぬと、お腹の怪獣が申しておりますわ。
Gao Gao. She roars. I see. Thanks for helping, but that alone is not enough. Nowhere not to make the entire menu free.
どうしよう。怪獣が暴れちゃう。地球崩壊の危機だよ。
I can't treat the entire menu, but as Hio-chan helped me. Yeah, I can only treat a large matchup parfait with cream.
好き。タイガ。 だよ。
We make a fuss. However, she was not here, so I'm here doing the work alone. I shook my head off. The teachers had us shouting from the roof and ran to Chiwa, and so I'm now suspended. I have so much free time that it would rot if left alone. But of course, no matter how much spare time I have, I cannot handle an unfamiliar job all by myself. Chiwa had gone to a theme park in the neighboring town with her otosan. If you ask me how it came to that, it's because of a dogeza.
先輩、ごめんなさい。
Last night, I got a message from Chiwa on my smartphone. As for the matter, she requested me to work in the cafe tomorrow. Basically, today.
お父さんがどうしても一緒に遊びに行こうって言って聞いてくれなくて、今こんな状態なんです。
She sent a stab right after that message. It was the chibi samurai pressing his forehead against the ground. Sumari adogeza. There's no way. Otosan leading her musume to go out on a trip with a dogeza. What in the world?
突然変なお願いしてしまってごめんなさい。お父さんと二人でお出かけするのすごく久しぶりで、ちょっとだけ楽しみかもしれなくて。
She sent me that message next. Okay, that's fine. Enjoy. I replied. I was also thinking of apologizing to you since I made you feel so embarrassed, so I think this would be perfect. Having a day at work entrusted to me is nothing. And that's what I keep telling myself, but I also wanted to talk to Chiwa about many things. Those were my real thoughts. Like about our next date or something. We both have spare time. We both could go and look up some places beforehand. We both were suspended for school. I don't know why it was not just me, but Chiwa as well. I had complaints, but Chiwa herself accepted it, saying that it can't be helped. Shikatanai. And she couldn't say anything more. Anyhow, I was planning on how to spend our spare time together. But even then, she'll go on her trip with her otosan, huh? Then suddenly, the hellscape of Chiwa's otosan accompanying her every time we go out on a date from here on passed through my mind. With no meaning.
大河くん聞いてる？またぼーっとしてるよ。
Haru tilted her head with the menu open. I'm at work right now. I need to focus and work in front of me. Go man. My thoughts had to stop for a moment. What would you like to order? Haru?
考え事って千葉ちゃんのこと？
Well, yeah, I was. For some reason, I was somewhat shaking at her question. Gomen, for spacing out, I didn't take the order yet. What would you like? Haru turns the menu pages around. Then, without looking at me, she said,
ご注文はね、大河くんの気持ちかな？
What do you mean?
教えてほしくて。
Tell me what?
大河くんは千和ちゃんのこと。
With her eyes glued to the open menu, she said,
その好きなのかな、やっぱり。
What is Haru asking? Are you, I wonder what you meant by after all. There's no point in asking about that. It probably won't help me dodge the question, so I answer honestly. I mean, I honestly don't know. After going through the, well, I mean, his, whatever he did there, whatever he did in the school tower, he didn't even say something like, I love you or something. He just only said something like, don't go, and that's it. And that's like, yeah.
はあ、わかんないってどういうこと？
It's your own feelings. You had to get them straight, she says.
まったくだ。この後に及んで何言ってるんだよ、タイガ。よくわからないのにあんなことしたのか？
Tomohito said, while giving a ame from his pocket to Hiyori.
あそこでタイガがチワちゃんに告白して、晴れて二人は恋人同士みたいな流れになるんじゃないかって思ってたんだ。
Yeah, honestly.
そうなっても誰も不思議に思わない。
Instead, he went for like, I don't know if I like you or anything like that. I just don't want you to go.
それなのに、タイガ、お前さ、そもそも好きかどうかわからないって。
I can't help it. I don't understand what I don't get. I can't lie. In the first place, I didn't do that because I like Chiwa. It's just that I don't want her to go far away. I want her by my side, no matter what happens. I really thought that. Why do you want her by your side? Do you like her? Do you want her as a pet? Is that it? What the hell? What kind of... That's so vague, man. You gotta get your shit together, man.
そっか。
Haru closed the menu. Then she went silent. Her expression seemed complicated from the side.
はるちゃん、
Perhaps feeling the same anxiety as me, Hiyori gently calls out to Haru.
はるちゃん、泣いちゃうの？
Yeah, it could be Haru. Well, I'm not surprised. I mean, anyone who has a route with this guy, I'm not surprised they like him at some point, you know? I mean, we already know Hiyori. We already went through Hiyori's route, so yeah.
どうしてそんな、どうして私が泣くのかな？
Oh man, I can't wait to look into Haru's route, man. Haru smiles in a panic. Then she looks up at me and...
おめでとう、タイガくん。先にお祝いしておくね。
Huh? Celebrate? What? I ask.
チワちゃんとタイガくん、付き合い始めておめでとう？
No, I told you that's not it. She tilts her head and thinks, and then she smiles.
でもきっとそうなるよ。きっと。
She said with a cheerful look on her face. I couldn't see a trace of her complicated expression I saw before.
チワちゃん、早く帰ってこないかな？
Haru opens the menu again. I want to apologize to Chiwa-chan properly for making her embarrassed, but I haven't apologized directly yet. So I came to the cafe today. Haru said earlier. Chiwa came back after the cafe closed by the time we were done cleaning up. The sun had completely set and it was nighttime. It seems that they had gone to an aquarium in the neighboring town. They brought a lot of omiyage. And there were many basket goods that would make you think, what is this? It's hard to call them cute by any standards. But I could imagine Chiwa buying all those goods happily in joy. What can I say? She will like some ugly mascots. Although she probably thinks that those things are cute. Anyways, it seems that she enjoyed many things with her otosan today. I thought that talking about the trip would be lively for sure. And yet... Why am I sitting in front of you? In a cafe after the customers had left, sitting with a table between us. I was facing Chiwa's otosan.
そう邪険にしなくてもいいじゃないか、タイガくん。チワがお夕飯を作ってくれてる間だけでいいんだ。少し話そう。
Oh, Kazuma. Didn't I read a recent VN with a character when his name is Kazuma? Oh, being lovers. Okay, fine. Anyway, this guy is voiced by Kamine's voice actor. How amazing. Chiwa's Otosan, Ando Kazuma, was sitting across the table, showing a gentle smile. The table is completely white. It's so white that it makes me feel as if I have never seen sunlight. He is tall and slender. His long hair is tied around his shoulder. We haven't faced each other like this since he drew portraits of Chiwa and me. I'll wonder, where the paintings from there are now. Even with that in mind, I still couldn't help but feel quite dissatisfied with the person who monopolized Chiwa for the entire day and returned home satisfied. But why?
なんだって
Why do I have to listen to Otosan bragging endlessly about how completely satisfied he is playing with her musume? Chiwa looked cute. Then she saw a giant ray in the aquarium with sparkling eyes. She looked lovely when she was clapping along with the kids at the penguin show. I won't forget her smile when she frolicked in the tunnel-shaped tank. He went on. I can imagine the reason that's not voice line is they're saving on budget. Hey, Tosan, doesn't that mean that everything you did, if anything, wasn't that something Chiwa and I should have done together? Oh, he's one of those. He's one of those who hits the pipe. Let me check that out. Oh my god, it's so random. For this fucking joke. I cannot think or comprehend. Okay, now, there you go. It still hasn't been refuted. 2025. Anyway, that was super random.
言ったろタイガくんチワはお夕飯の準備をしてくれてるし今暇なのは私しかいないんだよ悪いけど少し話し相手になってくれないかなそう邪険にするなよ少年
Chiwa Satosan says with a bitter smile.
なあ少しくらい話をしてくれてもいいじゃないかチワが戻ってくるまでの間だけなんだってそう長い時間じゃないはずだそうだろ
Harsh.
ん
At least let me be harsh. I was working while you two were enjoying. Also,
まあなんだろう
Chiwa Satosan, if you were never this confusing. Suddenly I spoke my grudges about yesterday, right after that happened.
先輩
Shaking out the teachers by the time I reached Chiwa, standing in the schoolyard. No, I was practically caught by the time I reached her.
ところで先輩転校ってどういうことですか
Chiwa said, puzzled. So instead of heading to the state Ikimai to run somewhere far away, we went to her house instead.
お父さんどういうこと私転校なんて聞いてないよ
ああいや
私が行かなきゃいけないのは隣町の喫茶店だったはずだよね
うんそうだねその通りだね
The explanation that she received from her otosan was that the other day, Chiwa's cute uniform with Inumimi was a hit among some of the customers. He wanted her to study that trend in a Meido cafe in the town nearby. He had already contacted them and taken permission. With today's off from school and the weekend, it will be for 3 days straight. She'll learn many things: cute gestures, cute speech, service, and others. The cafe will be closed during that period. He said he'll be waiting for Chiwa to return from her training. That's the explanation to receive.
嫌だった。
Chiwa tightened her grip on my hand.
すごく嫌だったんだよ、お父さん。それにとっても怖かった。だから行きたくなかった。研修なんてしたくなかったんだよ。それなのに。
She sniffles.
それって全部嘘だったの？
いや、まあそういうことになるかな。
ひどいよ、お父さん。お父さんがどうしてもお願いって土下座までするんだもん。お願いだからもう一度だけ可愛い格好をしてほしいって。そんなの断れないよ。なのに嘘だったなんて、そんなのひどい。
Ah. Oh, cool. Although I couldn't say it, but not cool. After a day passed, the words followed.
Eh?
Seeing her otosan puzzled, I said, "No, gomen. It's nothing." Just talking to myself and shook my head. I just thought.
ああ、大河君は何をどう思ったのかな。
Well, returning my consciousness and my gaze to the present, I say, she was a Tosan. You can't really leave your room, so I heard from Chiwa. She said that your health is weak, which is why he can't help out at the cafe every day. During the busiest period, when school ends, her daughter, Chiwa, has to handle the students in the cafe all by herself. And yet he can go out on a trip with her musume with a calm face. And then he boasts about it with pride and long, going on forever. I don't complain. It's like, what the heck is with him? Dwell up in my heart. Personally, I don't feel like being that kind to you.
ああ、それはまあ、
This is bad. How do I explain this? He scratches his head.
それだけ心配だったんだ。確かめてみたかったんだ。そして安心したかったというのでは理由にならないかな。
Huh? I tilt my
あ
head.
りがとう、大河君。時間をくれてありがとう。安心したよ。
Chiwa's Otosan smiles. Relieve?
ああ、そうだよ。今日一日、チワと二人っきりでいろいろじっくり話して、チワにとって君がどんな存在なのかということを肌で感じられることを期待していたんだよ。
That's what the entire day was for. Where's the line here? Is something missing here?
チワにいい人ができたみたいでよかった。本当に。安心できたよ。
Wait, there really isn't a line in between? What was that for? It's weird. It's not even reflecting on the backlog, so it's actually, there really isn't a line there. Anyway.
きっとこの先、チワが何か困ったことに巻き込まれてしまったとしても、君という男の子がそばにいてくれるのなら、 少なくとも全力であの子のことを、チワのことを助けようとしてくれる。結果はどうあれ、チワを全力で守ろうとはしてくれるはずだ。そう確信を持てたから。いいんだ。君がいい。少なくとも私は君という人間に不安はないよ。
I don't know how Chiwa talked about me to her Otosan. But there must have been a lot of dramatization or glorification. I feel uneasy about it.
夢だったんだよ。
You man. With this exact voice, he said this exact line. I was like, I've heard him said this line so many times in another role. Anyway. Huh. You man.
あ
Going out on a trip when you're kawaii no musume.
ああ、まあそれもないわけじゃないけど、違うな。私の夢はそれだけじゃない。
Putting his elbow on the table, he rests his chin on it. Then he smiles and says, It's you.
娘の好きなことを娘をかけて言い争ってみたり、その後にお酒でも一緒に飲んで語り合ってみたり。いや、君とは喧嘩をするほどの仲にはなり得なかったけれど。
It does make me somewhat sad, he says, smiling forcibly.
ああ、そうだね。時にはケンケンゴーゴーと言い争うこともいい。殴り合うこともあるかもな。そういうのが夢だったんだ。チワと暮らして、あの子がどんどん大人になっていくその中で、ふとさ、そんな未来を想像して、ああ、いいなーってさ、憧れてたんだよ。
He becomes
当
embarrassed.
たり前すぎるだろ。大人の抱く夢なんてそんなものさ。若い君にはまだ実感は乏しいかもしれないけれど、年を重ねて大きくなるたびに夢は小さく当たり前なものになっていくものだ。それが普通だ。でもまあ普通で当たり前なことが正解だというわけじゃない。普通なことほどつまらないし、くだらないことはないんだよ。
The adults in this world don't understand, he said.
大人はさ、普通になれれば安泰だと信じてるものばっかりだ。だけど普通であることはさ、大抵辛いことばかりなんだよ。そこを勘違いしてるんだ。
Oh, so boy. Don't just accept what adults say without thinking, he says. Also, always understand things with your own standards.
もしその時の選択が間違っていると気づけば、その都度修正していけばそれでいい。たったそれだけのことで人生なんて大抵うまくいくんじゃないかななんて。
No, go man. He smiles forcibly.
年を取ると説教臭くもなる。しかもさ、その説教がまたどうしようもない。当たり前のことをさもそれ以外正解のない真理だとばかりに語りたがってしまう。まったくいけないな。そういうところは若い子たちに嫌われる。私も若い頃はそうだったしな。やれやれだ。自分が嫌っていた大人と同じようなことをするなんて。
I really am old now. He was laughing.
ごめんな大河君。私が君にこんなことを言うのもおかしいのは分かってるけど、あまり嫌ってもらわないでいてくれると嬉しい。
Adults are preachy. but they are also but they are scared of being hated by you all over anything else, he said with a bitter smile. In front of him, I sigh. 俺は Relaxing his shoulders, I smiled and said, I can't drink alcohol. My response might have been unexpected. For a while, he was staring in wonder, but
あ
smiling gently, he said, I see.
あ、奇遇だな。私もだよ。
What do you mean? I laughed. You men are about wishing to do what you can't, right? He laughed.
二人で何話してるの？
Chiwa came from the kitchen with food.
なんだか楽しそうな声してたよ。
Chiwa said to her otosan while putting the plates on the dinner table.
大河君と私、どちらがチワのことが好きなのかって話したよ。
何それ？
She turned red. She finished setting the table while trying not to look at me, and was invited for dinner as a thanks for coming to work on a short notice. It was squid ink pasta. Amazing! You can make this at home. I didn't know. This might be the first time eating it. Well, you have to remember, her home is also a cafe. Anyway. Also, how do I say this? Having seafood right after coming back from the aquarium, it makes me feel a bit strange. Well, needless to say, I was not the one who went to the aquarium. I was the one working. I think I can eat it with delight without feeling any hesitation.
それで？
Chiwa says, still standing in front of the table.
それでどっちになったの？
I like how she wanted to even know the answer to that question, man. She said, while covering half of her face with a tray she used to bring the dinner plates.
どっちがその私のこと好きだってことになったの？
Oh, I get a little bewildered. A blunder. Even though I had decided that I will bid sayonara to the timid and indecisive me. Seeing me, Chiwa's otosan grins.
私に決まってるだろう。私はチワのお父さんだぞ。ポットでの男の子に負けるはずがない。
My boy, I'm gonna hit the pipe, he basically said. Yeah, unexpectedly proactive. I like Chiwa more. I noticed after seeing it. I guess I fell for it. The grin on his face was saying it all.
そうですか。でももう先輩には騙されないんですから。
She said irritably. But she then sat down next to me. Not next to her otosan. Her distance feels closer than usual.
早く食べないと冷めちゃいますよ。
Yeah. いただきます。
今夜の料理上手にできたと思うんですけど、どうですか？
It's my first time eating squid ink pasta. すごい。おいしそう。Chiwa, you are great at cooking. We smile at a distance, close enough to feel each other's breaths. Wow, that is close. What? Bro. You're talking about someone who works at a cafe, man. Chiwa's otosa was looking at us with eyes of relief.
ごめんな、チワ。思い出はこれで十分だよ。
What's with this line? Is he dying? What the hell? Is he dying? What the hell is that line?
お父さん泣いてたんです。
Huh? Chiwa called me to her room after dinner because she wanted to talk to me. I wonder what it is. I can't say that I didn't have some other expectations, but I didn't think it would be about this. Imagine he was having some other expectations and he's like, I'm gonna talk about my dad. Oh no. But well, this is serious. Chiwa's Otosan was crying?
1ヶ月くらい前の夜だったと思います。
I woke up at night. I became curious what Otosan is doing at this time. It seems that he does preparations for the cafe at night, but since he can't sleep, since I can't sleep, I thought of helping. With that in mind, I went to Otosan's room. The door was slightly open. I didn't mean to take a peek, but beyond that dim light, he was crying, she says. In his room all by himself. He arches back and sobbed. He was crying silently.
私、声をかけられなかった。お父さんの泣いてるところなんて初めて見たから、怖かったのかもしれないです。
Which is why I slowly went away from his room.
忘れなきゃいけないと思ったんです。私が見てたことを知ったら、お父さん傷つくんじゃないかって。
Wait, I'll be right back. I have to do some little mini chore. Okay, I'm back.
だけど次の日、お父さんいつもみたいに笑顔で私におはようって言ってくれて。
But I could tell right away, she says.
お父さん元気がありませんでした。いつもと変わらない笑顔だったけど、お父さんの元気がないのはその日からずっと続いていたんです。
I was worried. I tried to look for something that I could do. So when he asked me to go out on a trip with him, I was happy. My unwell father, my dear Otosan, if you could feel even a little bit better by going on a trip with me. That's what I thought for today, but...
お父さんすっかり元気みたいです。多分先輩のおかげですね。
As she suddenly said that, I got surprised. Because of me?
はい。男親は息子が欲しいって願うことが多いみたいですよ。何かでそう読みました。
I don't know, man. I prefer to have a daughter. But, like... Yeah, I guess. But let me have my eldest as a daughter. Anyway.
将来一緒に何かできることを想像するのが楽しいみたいです。
Playing catch, drinking together, or sometimes fighting together.
だから先輩と話しているの、お父さん楽しいんじゃないかなって思います。多分ですけど。
Thanks a lot for today, she says. You helped out with the sudden work. Not just that, thank you for accompanying me Otosan for a talk before dinner as well. She says so.
私とお出かけしたことよりも、きっと先輩と笑顔でお話できるようになったことの方が嬉しいんじゃないかなって、そんなことを思ってしまいます。
Chiwa smiles. As I went silent, I frowned. I had a sour look on my face.
先輩?
I say to Chiwa, who tilted her head. You know, Chiwa,
はい。
when you talk to your Otosan, it feels like you two are really close. You two look like you get along very well.
それは自分のお父さんに敬語で話すなんて少し変ですもん。そうですよね。
Is it?
多分。
I feel like I'm losing. I've already parted with my indecisive and timid self, but I'm jealous.
何言ってるのかわかりませんよ、先輩。嫉妬
Would you also talk like that to me someday?
それは
Hi?
いつか
She looks down, then pouting her lips and squirming.
いつかそうしてもいいかなって思えたら
Blushing, she was fidgeting. This is more than enough for now. That's because even I haven't conveyed my feelings clearly to her. That's our half-hearted situation. ところで、Chiwa, about this weekend's date.
はい
Deto, she whispers to herself. Her voice seemed full of joy. If I get too conscious about it, I'll become embarrassed. Try my best to ignore it. I say, I'll make you even more fun memories than you had on your trip to the aquarium with your Otosan. I promise. No, I swear that I will.
え
It's obvious that it's coming from a place of. Chiwa makes a mean face.
先輩が張り切るとなんだか怖いです。嫌な予感がしますよ。
No, it's fine. I won't be mean to you anymore.
はい。
I think it's still fine to imagine. No, fantasize about you working in the Meido Cafe in a cute uniform. Nico Mimi, I want you to try them instead of Inu Mimi now.
嫌です。
She narrowed her eyes.
意地悪な先輩と同じくらい変態な先輩も嫌いです。
As she looks away, I say, about your Otosan. If we get along well and smile, then he. Chiwa's Otosan will likely feel even better. It's probably fine to think that way. So let's enjoy the weekend to the fullest. With the tickets your Otosan gave us, I say. He said that it's an apology for all the trouble until now, giving us tickets for 2 to the theme park. It's this late already. The date's about to change. I stayed for too long. I want to talk with Chiwa all night long, but I can't do that. I already contacted Asai-san, saying I'll be back soon. In the first place, her Otosan wouldn't allow that yet. We don't have such a relationship yet. Well then. それじゃ、また明日. I'll come to help with the cafe. We have a lot of time since we were suspended after all. Feels like the only thing we have is time. As I joke, Chiwa smiles.
はい。おやすみなさい、先輩。あ、でも学園は休みだけど課題は出てますよね。
Do we?
出てましたよ。先輩は反省文もあるんじゃないですか？
I think. I had to.
先輩、すっごい嫌そうな顔ですよ。
Chiwa giggles.
私も課題出てるので、一緒にやりましょう。二人で頑張れば、きっとすぐ終わりますよ。
Should I expect your delicious dinner tomorrow as well? Then I might be able to do well at work and with the homework I feel.
はい。リクエストがあれば、頑張りますよ。
Oh, yatta!
男の人は、まずお腹から、胃袋から掴むものだって、何かで読みましたし。
Oh. I couldn't really look at Chiwa's face. We definitely knew the both of us were blushing.
待っていても、いいですか？先輩。
Huh? Being called out, as I was about to leave the room, I turn around.
私、先輩に告白しました。 でも、あの時は振られたんだと思ったんです。真面目に答えてももらえないくらい。先輩は私のことなんて何とも思ってないんだって。だけど、あの時の先輩は私に意地悪な先輩だったから。だから、
Closing her eyes shut, she says.
私に意地悪しない。私に優しい先輩のお返事をもらえるの。私、待っていてもいいですか？
Man, this is some super cope here. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I nod. I will. I will definitely tell you one day. I still don't know where my feelings are. You brought forth the courage to tell me your feelings, so I don't want to be half-hearted about it. And that's why it end here today. End here for today. Oyasumi, Chiwa. Mata ashita. We wish each other to have sweet dreams, smiled and parted. After Senpai went back, I went to Otosan's room to check on him.
お父さん、まだ起きてる？
I called out, but there was no reply. I became a little worried. Otosan didn't seem to be well recently, but he became better thanks to Senpai. I really saw that. I also know that Senpai did something mean to Senpai while I was not there. Even while being mean, I believe on my own that Otosan must have fun talking to Senpai. And that is one of the reasons why Otosan is feeling better. But even then,
お夕飯食べ終わって部屋に戻るとき、お父さん、また少し元気がないように見えた。
and then still smiling, he said in a low voice, "Gomen ne, Chiwa." I might have misheard that. His voice was too low, so I thought that it must have been my imagination. But I really became curious. I cannot sleep like this.
お父さん、
I knock. Even then, he doesn't respond. Not just that, but I don't even feel his presence beyond the door. The lights are on. The door was slightly open. Light is leaking out from there. That night flashed through my mind. The night when my Otosan was crying. He was standing silently, all alone. Did something happen? Otosan, why were you crying along? Can you tell what made you so sad? Thanks to Senpai, I felt that Otosan was smiling more than usual. I also want to be useful to Otosan. I held the doorknob. There, I hesitate. He might not like it if I open the door even though he didn't reply. But, arigato, Otosan. I had a lot of fun today, but I forgot. I still haven't said thanks to you. I need to thank you properly before going to sleep. I want to see his face. I need to know if he is fine. And then I'll thank him and go to sleep. Even though I knock, even though I call him out, he doesn't respond at all. But it felt enough of a reason to open this door.
ごめんね。開けるよ、お父さん。
I opened the door. What the hell happened, man? My heart pounded loudly. It was all red. The red was enough to choke. What the fuck? Broken, tattered, dispersed. What is that thing scattered about in there? Also, the one standing in the middle of that red room facing away is Papa. He slowly turns towards me.
チワ大きくなったな。
Of course, it's the guy with the cool guy voice. I can't believe Kyon is voice acting here. Holy shit. That's all. Leaving just those words, he turned into a jet black shadow, as if he had never been there, and disappeared out of the window, swallowed by the dark night. Did her actual dad kill her adopted dad? What? In his hand was Otosan, the severed fragment of my Otosan that he held tightly, closing his eyes, never to smile again. I opened the window that he disappeared out of with all my might, and then I shouted the name of my other papa. It meant that deep, dark Yoru. Man, they had two high profile VAs, man. But seriously, what the hell happened? What? Well, we kind of know those two are talking, but like, we based on their private conversation, her adopted dad, I think that's her adopted dad, is like, he's well aware that he has numbered days, and it looks like maybe her real dad killed her adopted dad, but why? Anyway, it's a wretched night. What the heck is going on? After Chiwa finally calmed down, I put her to sleep on the bed, staring at her smiling face. I think about what has happened so far. First, there's one conclusion. The person named Ando Kazuma did not exist anywhere in this world. Last night, just as I reached for the Yume no Netoko, I got a call from Chiwa. Oto-san has died. What do you mean? What happened? Still on the call, I tried to soothe her as she cried, while I ran back to her house. I ran to her Oto-san's room, Oto-san's heya. From the open door, dazzling light leaked out to the hallway. There was a peculiar smell, the smell of light with iron, the smell of blood. There was truly a gruesome murder scene. All red. Something was torn to shreds all over in there. She was cowering in there, holding her smartphone with her shaky hand still connected on the call with me. Chiwa! I held her small shoulders, then clung tightly to her. Then she clung tightly to me, shaking her lips, and said, By whom? Huh? What do you mean? Explain in a way I would understand. However, she didn't reply further. Unable to reply, she continued to cry. From there, I first made her rest in her room, called the Keisatsu right away. Several patrol cars and police officers arrived within 10 minutes, but... No, usa. As I led them to her Oto-san's room, the room dyed in red. There was, however, nothing more strange than that. There definitely was something ruthlessly torn to shreds when I ran into the room. Nothing. There's nothing. Nowhere. What was left was a lot of blood dyeing the floor. Walls, ceiling, and the furniture red all over. An exaggerated amount of it. Taken to the police station, we were both separated and asked various questions individually by the police officers. I understood that the person named Ando Kazuma does not exist in the family registry. The officers looked at us with suspicion, doubting if someone had really died. It seems that they were starting to think it was all a bad prank. Prank, they say. And that's true. Then, wouldn't that mean Chiwa was living alone until now without any guardian? But the blood dyeing the room certainly seems to be that of a human. First, we need to start from identifying whose blood it is. Decided to do only that tonight and send us back.
Senpai?
Chiwa wakes up, and then I return back to myself. Chiwa, Daijobu? Supporting her as she tries to get up from bed, I ask, exactly what happened? Can you tell me about last night's events in detail? You said that your Oto-san was killed by Oto-san. Last night she let out those words to me. We haven't told the Keisatsu. Chiwa bites her lip, turns down. Huh?
いつかこうなるんじゃないかと心のどこかで思ってました。
She said with her voice trembling.
きっとこのままなはずないって、きっと何かがあるって。でもどうして こんなこと。
Chiwa. She goes silent, still looking down. Is it better to leave her alone? She must have been asked some overbearing questions by the Keisatsu. There's no way she would recover from that exhaustion right away. Not to mention, her Otosan was killed. It seems. I cannot forcibly ask her circumstances just to satisfy my curiosity while she is in that condition. Chiwa, aren't you hungry? I can make something if you want. I asked with a smile, consciously trying to not exaggerate or to feel unnatural.
先輩。
She feebly calls out my name. Yeah, I can't make it as tasty as you do, but something easy to digest would be good right now. Something like udon. I can only make simple food though.
先輩。
This time, she calls out my name with a bit more strength. Raising her face, she says, Please tell me.
私、どうしたらいいですか、先輩。
With her voice trembling, she covered her face with her hands. And then again, tears began to fall, one after another, many of them. Seeing her, I hold my left hand, my dominant hand, my left hand of Yoru. Chiwa. Chiwa. Whatever I'm going to say right now, you can ignore it if you don't want to reply. This is a one-sided conversation. It's just a feeling. Just my prediction. Does this problem go 10 years back? Is it related to your battle 10 years ago in the Yoru as a Maho Shoujo? She doesn't respond. Is this a problem that you cannot resolve without using your Saigo no Maho that you should have gotten in the Yoru 10 years ago? She doesn't say anything at all. If that's the case, I hold my hand to her. My left hand. The special palm of my hand. Chiwa, I can bring out your Maho from the Yoru. I received that duty from Asahi-san. If my hunch is correct, then Chiwa, hold my hand. I can grant you the Maho that you wanted, but there is one condition. My hand is connected to the Yoru. If you hold my hand, then I can peek into your heart through the Yoru, just like dreaming about it. That's probably how it should happen. By doing that, I will decide if there's any danger in your Maho. I have to determine whether you really need that Maho, whether it might cause harm to you or not. That is my duty. If she holds my hand, that will come true. It will be fulfilled. I didn't do that until now, because I couldn't. It's about the relation. If our hearts are not connected closely, then they cannot become a Maho Shoujo Sky, and they cannot become my Dangan. To simplify, unless Chiwa wishes that, I want him to understand my Himitsu. Unless she opens her heart to me, I cannot understand her heart. That's what the relation is. I think I can do it now. I feel that I have become something greater than the Isananajimi to Chiwa. That's why I should be able to help you in my current state. Right now, I'm sure that we can use that Tokubetsu no Maho. I held out my hand exactly because I thought so. But in the end, she didn't say anything in return. Even then, she gently held my hand.
私の欲しかった奇跡。
Kiseki. Kiseki. Chiwa says slowly.
誰にも話せなかった私の秘密。それは
That must be
大切な人たちと
the Maho to meet them once again.
だったはずなんです。
The lock to her heart opens. I felt as if I heard that sound. That night, I was abducted by a monster.
もういいんだ。忘れてしまおう。悲しいことは全部。
I was alone, and the monster that appeared whispered to me. And then he held me, covering me with his giant hands, and dashed through the Yozara. The ski, the hoshi, they were dazzling. They were sparkling, dazzling. I thought I could reach them all if I held out my hand.
今夜から君は私たちの子だ。
The monster at the Yoru smiles gently.
いいかい？忘れないで。約束だ。もう君を一人ぼっちにはさせないよ。
His warm voice resounded in my chest, sounding like a lullaby, happier than anything.
眠れない夜は手をつなごう。悲しい時はお話ししよう。もしも寂しくなったら言いなさい。夜のお散歩くらいいつだって連れ出してあげるからね。
I prayed to forget everything until today, and closed my eyes within the gentle monster's chest. The monster took me to a small cafe. He lives here, pretending to be human. Welcome to our house. The gentle monster smiled and pulled my hand.
なんだその子供は。
Oh, it's this guy. There is another kaiju in the cafe. He had a huge body. His clothes were as dark as the midnight. I couldn't see his face well because of the hat pulled over his eyes. I could only peek at the what the hell? I can't even see what the entire line. With the lights off, his eyes glowed red in the dark. Same as the gentle kaiju who brought me here, he had white gloves on his hands. Closing the thick book he was reading in the dim light, he glared at me.
おいおい、ダメだよ、そんな怖い顔をして。驚かせちゃダメじゃないか。ただでさえ君は愛想がある方とは言えないんだから。
Human children, especially a girl as small as this, get scared easily. You know that, right? The gentle kaiju pats my head. When I asked them why they adopted me, the other kaiju sighed, deliberately loud.
おい、まさかお前、その子供をここに住まわせる気なんじゃないだろうな。
It makes me wonder, what exactly are these two? They kidnap a child and just tell them, we're your dad now. Are they? No, seriously, what the hell are they?
大正解。そのつもりだよ。
何がそのつもりだよだ。そんな話聞いていないぞ。ここはお前だけの家じゃない。俺の家でもある。そこのところ分かってるのか。
そうだね。ごめん。今言ったよというのでは通用しないよな。
当たり前だろ。俺を何だと思ってる。お前の身勝手に振り回されなきゃならない道理はどこにもないんだ。
The other kaiju says, "Sore ni," and sighs especially loudly.
夕飯は2人分しか作っていないぞ。人間の子供はたかだか一食抜いただけでも飢えて死ぬと聞く。これほど扱いづらい生き物は他にいないんだよ。無駄な気を使わなきゃならないのはもうたくさんだ。前から何度もそう言ってるだろう。それなのに、そいつをここに住まそうだなんて。
Are they just randomly getting kids and then, you know? Are they like pets or whatever? So what the hell is going on? I don't get what's going on here. You always bring in trouble, I swear. The other kaiju grumbles and shakes his head.
俺たちに人の子など手に余ると。
まあまあそう言わず頼むよ。もう一度だけ。
The other kaiju stands up with a sigh.
いいか、最初に言っておくぞ。私は反対だ。もう二度と人間の子は受け入れない。そう約束しただろう。それなのに、お前が勝手に連れてきたんだ。責任はお前に。
My stomach growled. Go man, I curled up smaller. They were talking about something important. I thought they would get angry. I thought they would yell me to get out. Although I don't even have a place to go back. What should I do? I was scared. Very scared. I felt lonely. Tears swelled. The other kaiju sighs, and then he glared at me with his eyes glowing in deep crimson.
おい、子供。お前は。
I cower in fear, but the gentle kaiju hugged me. The other kaiju narrowed his eyes, looking at me. He had a bitter look on his face. I get it. He's the edgelord. He's obviously well, you can tell he's an edgelord with his get up alone.
心配しないで。好き嫌いはないかって、そう聞きたいんだよ。きっとね。
The gentle kaiju whispered into my ears, and then,
大丈夫だよ。ちょっと口は悪いし怖そうに見えるけど、悪いやつじゃない。保証するよ。ほらね、黙っちゃったのはさ、もしかしたら君に怖がられて傷ついてるのかもしれないよ。だからほら、答えてあげて。
saying that, the gentle kaiju smiled. I don't have any, I answered timidly. I had no preferences. The other kaiju glares at me, then goes to the kitchen. After a while, I smelled something delicious. My stomach growled again, with a low sound. I'm embarrassed. I remember that I haven't eaten anything since yesterday. I waited for the food to be done by talking to the gentle kaiju.
君の名前は？
I don't answer. I couldn't even answer. That's because I don't have a namae. The kaiju then smiled at me.
そっか。七子の子かな。
Nanashi.
奇遇だね。私たちにも名前はないよ。
どうして？
うん。無から何かを作り出すということに、私たちは秀でていないからだよ。まあ、ここに来る前の名前ならあったけれど。
Although I forgot it long ago, he smiles.
とにかく、そういった生き物な私たちなんだ。無から何かを作り出すことはできない。ただの名前であっても。だから、君らの生み出す魔法に憧れてばかりいるんだよ。
Maho. That's right. The gentle kaiju says and smiles at me.
それじゃあまず、最初に君に名前を送らなきゃならないかな。人間は七子だとちょっと不便だ。そうだよね。
I nod.
だけど、やっぱりダメだな。君にどんな名前がぴったりなのか思い浮かばない。想像力ってものが私たちにはまるで欠けているからね。
Patting my head, the kaiju smiled.
できたぞ。
I hear the other kaiju's voice.
おい、子供。今夜だけは止めてやる。だけど、いいか。朝になったら出ていくんだ。さもないと。
Always the edgelord.
食べちゃうぞかな。そんな脅しはもう古いよ。今の子らには通用しないって。大体が可愛くひねくれちゃってるものだからね。今の子ってさ。
少し黙ってろ。ひねくれてるのはお前の方だ。しかもお前は可愛くもないから、何よりも増してタチが悪い。
What he brought was beef stew. Beef stew without any meat. That's not even beef stew. That's just stew then. Full of vegetables. I couldn't help but make a bitter face. Sorry, we're vegetarian, the gentle kaiju says. Don't eat if you don't want it, the other kaiju says with a sour look. This misspelling. I pressed my hands and said itadakimasu and took a sip. It wasn't that tasty. Rather, it was terrible, even though it smells so good.
そっか、美味しくないか。いやー、ごめんね。私たちには味覚というものがほとんどないんだよ。だから味には無頓着なんだ。
そもそも食事など必要ではない。
As the gentle kaiju was interjecting, the other kaiju, the unkind kaiju, took a bite from the stew uninterested. They are indifferent to the taste. They don't need to eat in the first place. Then why do they cook?
君ら人間の真似事がしてみたい。ただそれだけだよ。いつだって怪物たちは君らに憧れてばかりの生き物だからね。
It's not bad. Not tasty at all. I mean, it's bad. Not tasty at all. The stew is merely warm. I gulped it all in no time. Can I have second okolari? I asked. Then I saw surprise on their faces.
美味しくなかったんじゃ。
Yes, hi. Oishinai. I don't remember what's the. It wasn't tasty. The taste is loose. The vegetables are half cooked. It's very bitter, but it's strange. But it was slightly tasty. The unkind kaibu serve another portion of my plate. It wasn't tasty at all. It wasn't tasty after all. It wasn't tasty, but I thought if I didn't have to feel lonely anymore, thinking that this warm, untasty food also felt delicious enough. Gochisousama deshita. The three of us put our hands together. My stomach was full, but I was also full of anxiety. I had to leave this place tomorrow morning. I asked the Kaibutsu. Weird. Didn't they come to abduct me? While thinking that, if I'm forced to leave, then where would I go? Okasan and Otosan. But they're not there anymore.
いいよ。扉はいつでも開いてる。鍵はかかっていないから出て行きたくなったらいつでもそうすればいい。君は自由だ。
The gentle Kaibutsu was smiling at me. But I don't have any place to return to. Knowing that, he was smiling to me, rather than asking me, as he was asking the unkind Kaibutsu.
はあ、かわいそうにな。どこにも行き場がないのに追い出されてしまって、この子、飢えて死ぬかもしれないな。
The gentle Kaibutsu says exaggeratedly, then he glanced at the unkind Kaibutsu.
だってさ、人間の子供はさ、たかだか一食抜いただけでも飢えて死んじゃう生き物だからさ。
The unkind Kaibutsu sighs again. I nervously asked the unkind Kaibutsu.
なんだ
I don't know my home, or even my way back home. So, can I cook for you for tomorrow? I asked that. My world is always decided by what I can offer to the others. As I asked that, the gentle Kaibutsu says, of course, and smiles. もちろん.
君がいいのなら。
As he said that, the unkind Kaibutsu sighed again. He sniffed and frowned.
勝手にしろ。
やった。おめでとう。今日からどうぞよろしくね。
The gentle Kaibutsu took my little hands and whirled me around, saying, let's dance.
今日から私たちは三人家族だ。
That's how you get a family. You just randomly adopt a girl. Abduct a girl. Not adopt. A duck. Just two guys. Totally friends, okay?
何を言うんだ家族だとまだ俺はそこまで認めては
He's not accepting the Kazoku Keikaku, man. He's not accepting the Kazoku Keikaku.
さあさあ、小さな可愛い子。 今日から君の寝起きする部屋を紹介しよう。きっと気に入ると思うよ。
The Kaibutsu, in high spirits, pulled me by the hand to the second floor.
まったく。どうなっても俺は知らないからな。
I heard the loudest sigh today from behind. Kazuku. Okasan. Otosan. They didn't praise me that much. Your world, the value of your life, is always determined by what you can offer to others. Okasan and Dosan always said that to me as I grew up. Now show us. If you want to be recognized as our kodomo, then what would you offer to us? I was always looking for something that would make them praise me, or recognize me even. Get it? Hurry and get kidnapped. If you can't, then your life has no value at all. I wanted to be praised by them that day too. I wonder, will I get kidnapped today? Jesus Christ, their family, what the fuck is this? And then I would have to bid them farewell. But would they praise me a little in the end? We were glad that you were born. Would they smile at me like that? Would they hug me? On that day, when I had those expectations, the mansion was quiet. Far too quiet. Man, she's rich. She has a mansion. Or no, maybe apartment. Remember, apartment is they use mansion for apartments, but we'll see. By the way, when they say apartment, it's a condominium. Anyway, I wonder why. I had a bad feeling. That's why I sneaked out of the room. I was locked up then. I nervously opened the door to the living room, which I was told to never enter. What do you mean you can't even go to your living room? Oh my god. They were dead. The living room was completely red. They were torn apart. I was too young back then. I might have not understood their sayonara well enough. So I must have believed that they would wait. What's this? Wait up sometime? What? I have no idea what that's supposedly. We'll continue for now. Waiting for them, scattered and disordered, to wake up someday. Okay, wake up sometime. I never left their side. I didn't ask for help from neighbors. I didn't even call my relatives or other people I knew. That's because they will wake up. I wanted to believe. Not just that, but I also grew up knowing almost nothing about the outside world. I didn't know what to do in that situation, and I didn't know the right way to deal with it either. So I just silently waited in the smelly living room, dyed in red, waiting for them to wake up. I wonder how much time had passed. I didn't cry or scream. I didn't feel anything. But I might have been hungry. Oh my god, don't tell me, Chiwa, you. Although my heart and my mind became just as empty as my stomach, day by day they got stiffer and colder. Holding my Otosan's giant, huge arm, I was sitting down in the red living room. I wished to be hugged by these arms one day. But that wish could no longer be granted anymore. Was it the second day? Third day? Or perhaps the fourth? It was around this time when I finally felt sad and tears ran down.
さあ、行こうか。君をさらいに来たよ。
The Kaibutsu, Yoro no Kaibutsu came to kidnap me in solitude. He hugged me tight and then dashed across the midnight sky. Oh, Yoro no Kaibutsu. Do you remember in Hiyori's route they were talking about like the story of like there's some monsters that kidnap girls girls or twins or something. I can't remember. They could there's some creatures that kidnap girls with a lot of suffering or something like that. So these guys are literally them? Oh. One day, my cousin and Tosan told me about them. In this town, there are immortal beings that kidnap children every night. The Yoru no Kaibutsu that crawl in the darkness. Okay, so okay, that's literally them. Okay, that's literally them. Wow. It's a good thing we did Hiyori's route first. They dropped stuff. They dropped the lore stuff there to build up on this. They give the kidnapped children eternal life and continue to live together with them forever. Okasan, Otosan. In this world without them, the world where I was all alone, I had to live forever. I wonder if Chiwa's situation is very similar to Hiyori's. Well, of course, Hiyori was able to. No, not Hiyori. Hiyori's mom. Jesus Christ, man. They really made it so confusing. Tonikaku. It was a punishment heavier than anything. Two Kaibutsu kidnapped me. I thought that they were the rumored immortal beings with Shimi.
Kimi ni namae o okuritai.
It was on the morning, about 1 week after I started living with them. The kind Kaibutsu said that to me. My namae. The me until yesterday is no more, nowhere to be found. From today, I will be called Chiwa. I asked him nervously.
意味は何？
そうだな。うん。きっと可愛い子って意味だよ。可愛い可愛い私たちの子。改めてよろしくね。
Are they also it's so creepy, not in the scary Kaibutsu way, but in the just two guys, totally friend guys, just abducting a little girl and you know what I mean. My mind is forever broken, man. Wait, let me pause for a bit. Okay, I'm back. Let's continue. The smiling, kind Kaibutsu called me Chiwa. I nodded and said, "Hi?" On saying that, the kind Kaibutsu smiled very happily. Then he patted my head many, many times with his hands covered with thick white gloves. It kind of tickled me, and I twisted.
ほら、君も呼んであげなよ。もう知ってると思うけどさ、この子、笑うととっても可愛いよ。
The unkind Kaibutsu that sat silently on the chair glanced at me, but just like that, he didn't say anything and returned his gaze to the open newspaper. I get it, you're an edgelord. Then he slowly exhaled tobacco smoke. The unkind Kaibutsu always smoked cigarettes. I kind of like how the exhaled smoke would dissolve into the air. I get it, he's trying to act cool. I was staring at the disappearing smoke. Noticing my gaze, that unkind Kaibutsu snubbed out the cigarette in his mouth. But unable to find anything else to do, he lit another one right away. The days of the two Kaibutsu were filled with little surprises. And they are vastly different from me. Simply peeking into those differences was enough to make every day fun. Asa. There's some old music being played in the cafe at the volume low enough to not bother me. They always decide who selects the music by Janken Po. The kind Kaibutsu love old foreign rock bands, Although the songs were so cute that they were close to pop songs, he preferred either that or folk duel songs.
確かにロックという言葉の印象ほど激しくはないけれど、これも立派な叫びだよ。イギリス出身の若者たちの叫びの中にこそ、なぜか私の心は共感してやまないんだ。
It seems that their music tastes were exactly opposite, and the unkind Kaibutsu always seem even less pleased on days he lost on Jankenpon. The two always argue about ongaku. Staring at them, it was noon before I know it. Now is the time for movies. I forgot what movies is in Japanese. They turned out the lights, drawn the curtains, and used the cafe wall as a screen. Again, they played Jankenpon to decide who would choose the movie to screen. Then at night, it was story reading time. Are they really? What? Are they really monsters? You know? Is that what they do? They just randomly abduct children and then just chill out for like until when the kid dies? What the hell is going on? They would read short stories and picture books of all genres. Sometimes they read rakugos and folk tales. Wait, what do you mean read rakugo? I thought rakugo was like a performance, a very kind of specific performance. I'm confused. Anyway, their preferences were the complete opposite here too. Morning, afternoon, night. The two exchanged opinions all day long, but
もう君とは話をしない。音楽も映画も物語も全部話が合わないからね。
they say that, but they enjoy their company with each other every single time.
望むところだ。いいか。お前はもう少し勉強が必要なんだよ。必要最低限の知識を持って触れなければ、それはもう創作者たちへの冒涜なんだ。
Give me a second. We still haven't gotten like a special CG yet, man. I need to leave in like an hour or maybe an hour and a half, but we'll see. In the end, they would always throw those words and turn away. And the next day, they would play Jankenpon again. Day and day, they repeated. But it felt as if their daily lives had weight, mostly in the yoru. Not at yoru, but in the yoru. The ongaku appreciation ends. The movie screening ends. The story reading time ends. The two say, I won't talk to you anymore, and then turn away. And then the three of us finish eating bangohan, late into the night. The yoru rings. The sparkling yoru awakens in the town. With that, the two would go out together, even if they were arguing about their favorite things a while ago.
お留守番を頼んだよ、チワ。私たち以外の誰かが玄関の扉を叩いても、決して、いいかい？決して扉を開いちゃいけないよ。
They're doing their job as child adopters. I still don't understand what exactly they do. You know what I mean? I know that they abduct children, but what happens next after that? He would always say that, and then the two would disappear into the Yoru town. The young me back then didn't really understand what kind of place the Yoru was. Yeah, even by now, I thought if I understand that. Anyhow, I always waited alone every night, waiting for the returner to do who went out when it's Yoru. The room I was given was completely white, fluffy, and very cute. There were traces of someone using it until recently, but I could never imagine that I would be able to live in such a cute place until I get kidnapped here.
本当に私が使わせてもらってもいいのかな?
I still had some confusion and hesitation, but I did not have any other place to live anymore. As I became alone, I soon fell asleep in my soft bed. I didn't have anything else to do, and the little me couldn't stay awake, waiting for their return either. Waking up by morning, I quietly peeked into the cafe. On peeking, I saw the unkind Kaibutsu sitting on his chair, reading a newspaper as if nothing happened. And then I started preparing Asagohan. That was my new daily routine. It was one such night. That Yoru, the two went out as usual. Don't open the entrance door if anyone comes. They told me the same. Normally, I would have covered myself in bed and slept right away. But that Yoru, I couldn't fall asleep for some reason. It might have been because I took a sip to taste the coffee that the unkind Kaibutsu brewed. I frowned as I tasted the coffee. Seeing me, the kind Kaibutsu said, "It's a magic drink to make you not feel sleepy at night," with a smile. It seems the effect of the maho was tremendous for young me. The sleepless night felt too long. Yoru no Kaibutsu. Fushimi. I thought about them for a while. I'm trying to remember what being is in Japanese, but because when I say Fushimi, it's literally just the word immortal, but I had to indicate that I'm referring to beings, but whatever. Anyway, I had heard that they give eternal light to kidnap children and make us just like them. It's one of the rumors of Sanzen Town.
やっぱりこの部屋には私が来る前まで別の誰かが住んでいたのかな。
Wait a second. So if they become maybe those kids who were kidnapped and they become like them, so they become creatures of the night, I guess. The one living here was probably made into the same as those Kaibutsu. I wonder where they went then. I wonder where these Kaibutsu go every night without fail, and for what. Thinking all about that, I started to feel sleepy. The bell rang. It's from the front door. Did they come back? I hear knocking on the door. I see two shadows reflecting in the door's glass. I tried opening the door. But I remembered. Even if someone comes, never open the door. I remembered that the kind Kaibutsu said that. I take a step back and leave the door. The knocks became louder. The sound became louder by every second.
やめて。
I tried to cover my ears, but... Open the door. I heard a voice. I've come to pick you up. I heard my Okasan's voice. I finally found you. I searched a lot. I heard her voice. Let's go back together. I heard my Otosan's voice. What does this mean? Weren't they in that red living room? I don't understand anything. But still they came to get me. They're standing behind the door. Their voice, I can hear them calling out my name. They came to pick me up. I'm happy about it. It felt just like a yume. Now open the door quickly. I gladly opened the door, but... What was there were two big, huge shadows. Kage. Red mouths torn apart till the ears. Massive hairy bodies. Two eyes glinting in the darkness. The two Kage looked like demons, arched over me, covering my small body. Their hands with sharp claws were reaching out to me. I ran out, slipping past the hands of the Kaibutsu. I ran outside without a thought. I frantically ran through the Yoru no Kuni. I want to go back home. Everything until now must have been the yume. Heading for my home, I ran. I kept running. But I stopped.
ここどこ？
There, I finally realized that the things were different. It's Yoru. That was inside the special Yoru. I don't know what place I am in. The layout of the town should be the same, but it's somewhat different. It's clearly not the same. The unfamiliar Ejidori that should have been familiar to me was overflowing with some things. I gasped and gulped. Seeing my insignificant presence, the things walking around stopped suddenly. Gazes. Many gazes on the street were locked onto the little me. Unable to move, doshite. I heard a voice. Why is a human child here in flesh and blood? Who got them here? I hear whispering voices. No way. Is it the Yoru no O? Someone said. Is this the prophesied Yoru no O? Is it our enemy, Teki? Before I knew it, I was by those somethings crawling around. If we kill this thing, would we have any wish come true as a reward? Will we get the maho for that? The residents of the Yoru surrounding me whisper to each other. But no matter how you look at it, this Kodomo is Ninyan. No, don't be fooled. The appearance of the Yoru no O hasn't been prophesied. The words only hit at its arrival. Yes, tashikari. We don't know how the Yoru no O will look when it appears. Then silence followed. The things that gathered were looking at each other, silently discussing. Capture it! Someone broke the silence. No, kill it! Everyone nodded. Kill it! Capture it! Let's defeat the Yoru no O and get our wishes granted. Many arms reached out for me. My hands were held, legs pulled, my face pressed against the ground. It was painful. It felt as if my life was being ripped apart from my body.
やめろ
I heard a voice.
お前たち、なんてことを
The hands holding me down were pushed away.
チワ、大丈夫
I was held up within his chest. Looking up, Nakain Kaibutsu was staring at my face with worry. He really looked worried, so I chuckled and said, Miheki. Kill it. Let's do the Yoru no O.
バカを言うなこんなに小さな子がそんな物騒なものであるわけがないだろう
Ah, I see. It's you people again. Someone said alone. So, you brought the Kodomo into the Yoru again.
また
What does that mean? I asked Nakain Kaibutsu. But without answering to me,
舌を噛むから口を閉じてて
saying that, Nakain Kaibutsu leaped with a soft step, jumping up into the Yozara. The night town spread far below. The wind swept through and squinted in Nakain Kaibutsu's arms.
チワお留守番しておいてって言ったのにあんなところで何をしてたのかな
ごめんなさい。
But staying home alone was boring. Yeah, being alone was kawaii.
変なお化けがやってきて。
A mean ghost, intimidating the people I cherished, came. I ended up opening the
ごめん
door.
なさい。言いつけを守れなくて。
そっかお化けがそれは怖かったね
Nakain Kaibutsu said, I'm sorry for leaving you alone.
でもまだ今夜の用事は済んでないんだお化けはもう来ないように追い払うよだからサチは今から家に連れて帰るから朝まで一人でお留守番をとは言えないなうんわかったそれじゃあ今夜は一緒にいようかそばを絶対に離れないでね
We crossed the sparkling Yozara. In the kind Kaibutsu's arms, I looked up at his face and asked,
夜の王って何？
ああなんて説明しようか
The kind Kaibutsu said with a rude smile.
ここは君らの暮らす太陽の時間の裏側だ夜の国と呼ばれてるここは君らの暮らす太陽の時間の裏側だどういう風に説明するのが分かりやすいのかな例えばそうだね君らが想像しうるさまざまな夜の世界の住人がここに暮らしてる私たちもその一部だよ
And every one of them wishes to be an ally to the living, or rather sentient humanity. They pray to be liked. Tatoeba, Neko. There are species that don't hesitate to declare themselves humanity's one and only partner. What happened to the Inu?
いつもだよここの住人たちは いつも誰が一番君ら人間に愛されるにふさわしいかを争っている。馬鹿げてるだろ。誰が君らの未来を救おうと結果は同じなのにね。
Of course, not all residents of the Yoru are trying to be humanity's partners and allies. Many beings wander Yoru, seeking blood, flesh, and hearts as food like the ghost that deceived Chiwa.
まあ人類の味方でありたい、相棒であり続けたい、そんなのは詭弁だろうと私は思ってるけどね。
The kind Kaibutsu said that it's just a few species endlessly continuing a kind of power struggle in the Yoru realm, making excuses for the conflicts.
猫たちはその生まれによってそれぞれ違った能力を持つ。その力でどうにも心が傷つきやすくできてる君ら人間が生きやすいよう手助けしてるんだって話したけど、
And what are you two?
そんな彼らの中にずっと先の未来を見ることのできる猫が昔々にいたんだよ。
The scene of the mirai that the Neko saw. It was the scene of destruction. It saw a giant Akumu that emerged from the Yoru, destroying humanity's mirai along with the Yoru no Kuni. And the residents of the Yoru referred to that greatest and worst nightmare, whose appearance was foretold with awe as the Yoru no O. And eventually it was decided that the species that hunted the Yoru no O would be able to rule the Yoru. Whoever dealt the final blow to the Yoru no O would get the privilege to grant any Yume Maho.
だからね、この町に住む者たちは誰より早く夜の王を打倒することに躍起になってる。次々に我こそはって名乗りを上げてね。
二人ともいつも夜になったら出かけていく。
ん？
それって二人も夜の王を倒してお願いを叶えたいから、だからいつも夜の王を探しに出かけるの？
ああ、いや違うよ。確かに今の話だとそう思ってしまうかもしれないね。チワは賢いね。この調子だとすぐに大きくなっちゃいそうで少しだけ寂しいな。
The gentle Kaibutsu gave a wry smile and said,
私たちは夜の王なんてものには興味がないんだ。だから違うよ。毎晩の外出はそのためのものじゃない。
どうして？
Even though any wish could be granted,
私たちのお願いは誰にも叶えることができないからだよ。どんな魔法にだってそれは不可能だ。
not even the Yoru no O, who is said to appear someday, could ever grant them. The gentle Kaibutsu closed its eyelids.
だからそんなものに興味はないんだよ。勝手にやってればいい。滅びるものはいつか必ず滅びるものだ。私たちがどんなにあがいてもね。
And so the gentle Kaibutsu said with a sad expression that he didn't want to fight over such things. We soared through the Yozora and landed softly. It was a huge station. Many densha continued to come and go. Many somethings were mixed together. I firmly held the gentle Kaibutsu's hand so we wouldn't get separated, as many somethings passed us by. The terminal station of time. It was said to be the place where finished lives and hearts used up Suzoruku and even Akumu discarded by their owners, all gathered in the end. Then buying tickets to head for the next Tsuki. They would board their destined densha.
この駅で列車に乗った人たちはどこへ行くの？
さあね、いろいろだよ。
The gentle Kaibutsu smiled.
行き先は様々だ。 次の人生だったり、夜空の星たちだったり、遠い時間のその先だったりにも行ける列車があると聞いたことがあるね。
すごい。
ああ、そうだね。私たちもそうできる列車にはまだお目にかかったことはないけれど、そういう噂を聞いたことがあるよ。
夜の中にも噂があるんだね。
To me, saying that, the gentle Kaibutsu replied, "Ah, there are many."
でも命ある私たちにはまだどの列車にも乗車できない。命が所有する時間を使い切らなきゃ切符は買えないからね。だから正確なことはわからないけれど、きっと大切だったたくさんのものと上手にさよならするためにみんな列車に乗るんだよ。きっとね。
Things I cherish. My chest ached with a small throb. Pulling my hand, the gentle Kaibutsu walked around the vast station concourse. It was more like a huge city than a station. Various shops lined the area. The kind Kaibutsu kept walking, taking me with him. Looking up the station, Dekimai had floor after floor stacked high. We passed through that section together. The Kaibutsu said it was a residential area. Passengers lived here for a while, waiting for a densha that would take them to their destination. In that place, filled with signs of life, I found a familiar bag. It was the unkind Kaibutsu.
どう？見つかったかな？
The unkind Kaibutsu turned towards me, two sharp gleaming eyes.
まさか。
え？
チワの悲鳴が聞こえるだとか、いきなり言って飛んでいったが、まさか本当だったとはな。
今さら何を言ってるんだよ。君は知ってるだろう？私は耳がいいんだよ。チワの声ならどんなに離れていてもはっきり聞こえる。
まったくくだらんざれ言。そもそもちゃんとその子に言いつけてきたのか。外は危険だ。だから夜は家から出るなと。それなのに一人だけで外に出るなって。
まあまあもういいじゃないか。確かに危ないところだったけれど、私や君がついてたら危険はないよ。だろう？次からチワもちゃんと戸締まりしておいてくれるさ。
Desho? That's right, isn't it? The kind Kaibutsu said to me with a smiling face, and I...
気をつける。
I nodded hesitantly. The unkind Kaibutsu glared intently at me. For a while, the three of us walked through the Kimai. We left the residential area and passed through the commercial district again and arrived at the densha platform. The densha kept sliding in and out, one after another. The Kaibutsu seemed to be checking the faces of each something boarding those trains.
二人はいつもここにいるの？
うん。私たちはね、毎晩ここで人を探してるんだよ。
人？誰を？
お前が知る必要はない。
またすぐそんな怖い言い方をする。ほら、こんなに震えてかわいそうに。
The unkind Kaibutsu huffed and turned away. Then he pulled his hood deeper, hiding his crimson eyes. What hood? He only has like a hat and a bandana scarf thing and his edgelord cape, I guess.
私たちが探してるのは人間の女の子だよ。
The kind Kaibutsu said so.
人間の？
うん、そう。少し前までチワの部屋を使っていた子なんだ。
その子はどこへ行ってしまったの？
どこにも行かない。
The unkind Kaibutsu said, still looking away.
ただ死んでしまっただけだ。
またそんな怖い言い方をする。
The kind Kaibutsu sighed as if exasperated.
まあ、うん。確かに あの子は命の時間を全て使い切ってしまったけれど、だからあの子の命が、魂が、この駅で列車に乗る前にもう一度だけ会いたい。そう思って探していたんだよ。
But the kind Kaibutsu said it just couldn't be found. Perhaps the Kodomo they were searching for had already boarded the Densha. The Densha doors closed. A loud Densha whistle. Steam filled the station concourse, and it started to move. After seeing out the Densha, the two of them, almost in unison, suggested we go home for the night.
今夜は怖い思いをさせてしまってごめんね。どうして誰が来ても扉を開けてはいけないのか。理由をちゃんと説明しておかなかったのが悪かったね。
The kind Kaibutsu kept repeating, Gomen ne, Gomen, and set off for home, holding my hand. The Kaibutsu that came pretending to be Mayokasa and Otosan had already been punished by the unkind Kaibutsu, so I was told it would never appear again.
人の子にとって夜は安全だとは言い難いからね。チワがもう少し大きくなるまでは夜の中に外出するのは私たちがついていられる時だけにしよう。
明日もまた夜になると二人は出かけていくの？
Even though I was told that the scary Kaibutsu wouldn't come anymore, I was still scared to be left alone at home, in a place where I had once had a scary experience. It felt as if the scary feeling from then was still clinging there forever.
うん、もう出かけてはいかないよ。
そうなの？
うん。きっとあの子は無事に列車に乗れたんだ。そう信じる。もしも夜の中を迷っているようなら、何か力になりたいとも思っていたけどね。
Maybe it's been a week. Remember that it takes a week. If they're in the Yoru, they have 1 week to consider what to do next. Otherwise, they'll be stuck. They searched through the Yoru almost every evening, but in the end, they couldn't find them. That meant the Kodomo, didn't need the Kaibutsu's help. The kind Kaibutsu smiled with a somewhat lonely expression. Because you're here now, so it's okay now, they said.
実はね、チワっていうのはあの子の名前だったんだよ。別に君のことをあの子の代わりのように思おうとしたわけじゃなくて、
Sure.
私たちはあまり名前というものにこだわりのない生き物だけど、でもこの名前だけは特別だったんだ。だから君に送ろうと思ったんだよ。
Sure. Led by the kind Kaibutsu smile and hand, I was enveloped the bed in the room. Can you sleep alone? The kind Kaibutsu said. I shook my head.
もう私お父さんとお母さんには会えないの？
This might be the thumbnail for tonight. You fucking lolicons, man. You get your win tonight. Anyway. The scary thing that came while the Kaibutsu were away. 2 Kaibutsu that imitated Mayokasa and Otosan. Those Kaibutsu would never appear again because an unkind Kaibutsu had driven them away from me. That meant I could no longer even meet the fakes of my loved ones. No, or rather,
今から夜の中に本物のお父さんお母さんを探しに行けば私は二人に会えるかもしれない？
just like the 2 Kaibutsu were looking for that Kodomo. If I go look inside the Yoru. But even if I could meet them, what did I want to do back then as I was?
私のお父さんとお母さん
Sure, they didn't like me. No, they might have even thought I was a nuisance. That's why I think they kept me locked up in that big mansion for a long time. The Kaibutsu held my hand and said nothing. It just stared into my eyes.
会いたい。
I just kept repeating softly that I wanted to see my Akase and Tosen again. If I could meet my Akase and Tosen in the Yoru just one more time.
二人は私のことをどう思っていたのかな。それをお父さんとお母さんに教えてほしかった。
But I could never meet them again.
どうして
Hey, why is that?
どうしてさよならしなきゃいけないの？どうして大好きな誰かともう会えなくならなきゃならないの？
I said I was lonely. This lonely feeling was probably the color of the Yoru I learned for the first time, but
大丈夫。心配しなくたっていい。
the kind Kaibutsu was stroking my cheek.
君のお父さんとお母さんについては、いろいろと言いたいことが山積みではあるけれど、そうだね。
Wait, what do you want to say? It might be important.
確かに、さよならはいつだって突然、私たちの前にやってくる。それは仕方のないことで、どうしようもないことなんだろうけれど。でもね、きっと、さよならをした人たちは、どこへも行かないんだよ。
What do you mean? I asked. Then the kind Kaibutsu of the Yoru smiled shyly, a little embarrassed.
少し恥ずかしいことを言うね。笑わないでくれたら嬉しいな。
笑わないよ。
ありがとう。
You really are a kawaii kodomo. The gentle Kaibutsu said that and gave me a smile.
命あるものは、確かにいつかこの世界とさよならしなきゃならない。誰だって。実はこの私だってそうだ。不死だと言われてはいるけれど、いつか必ずその時が来る。そして、さよならをしてしまった人とはもう会えない。声も届かないし、姿も見えない。だけど、さよならしたからといって、見えなくても声が届かなくっても、その存在が全てなかったことになってしまうわけじゃないんだ。この世界とさよならをするということはきっとね、こことは違う別の時間に生まれ直すってことなんじゃないのかなって、そんなことを私は思うんだよ。
Huh. Very interesting way of saying this.
どういうこと？
見えない時間に声も届かない世界の中にさよならしてしまった人たちだけれど、時々だけどね、そんなさよならをした大切な人がそばにいてくれる。そういう空気を強く感じることがあるんだ。
時々？
そう、時々ね。
それはどんな時？
例えば、the Kaibutsu said,
例えば、君の大切なお友達が悲しいと言って泣いている。自分は一人ぼっちで寂しいんだと言ってずっと泣いている。そんな子がいたら君はどうする？
その子が本当に大切なお友達なら、大丈夫だよって言いたいかもしれない。私がちゃんとそばにいるよって、何があっても絶対に私はあなたの味方だよって言いたいかもしれない。
そうだね。それはさよならをした人たちもきっと同じなんだよ。誰かにとって大切な君がとても悲しい時、君が一人ぼっちで泣いている時、もうダメだって泣いて苦しんでいる時、君のそばで誰かが 私がいるよ、一人じゃないからと言ってくれている。君のことをずっとずっと応援したいんだと思ってくれている誰かが、声は聞こえなくても姿は見えなくても、悲しんで苦しんでいる君の手をずっと離さず握っていてくれるかもしれない。だからさ、チワ、勇気を持って今夜は眠ろう。
勇気？
うん。君らの長くて短い人生の中には、いつだって何度だってほんの少しの勇気を試されるようなことばかりが起こるけど。
I might have a bad dream. While I'm sleeping, my troubles might be reborn into even bigger troubles, but shaking off such a bad premonition.
ほら、安心して今夜は眠ろう。君はどんな時も一人じゃないし、大変な時はいつだって大切な誰かがそばで力を貸そうと応援してくれている。残された君が不自由なく生きていけたなら、きっとそれがさよならをした人たちにとって一番嬉しいことなんじゃないかな。
The gentle Kaibutsu told me a fairy tale until I fell asleep. With a gentle voice, with gentle words, it gave me a very gentle ending to the story.
おやすみ、チワ。今夜も君が素敵な夢を見れますように。
I hope you, who are lonely, stop being lonely even one day sooner.
私たちが君のお父さんとお母さんと一緒にずっとそばで見守っているからね。
Leaving behind many kind words, the kind Kaibutsu left the room. In the darkened room, I tried whispering Oyasumi to myself. Then, even though there was no wind, the curtain swayed slightly. It felt like a sign from someone who was nearby, though unseen. I felt relieved. It was strange, but one, then 2 tears fell. As I slowly drifted off to sleep, I thought, because there were so many things I found mysterious. The Kaibutsu no Yoru, the Fushimi. The rumor was they would kidnap children, about to be crushed by sadness, and make them Fushimi like themselves. But there was no sign that the two of them intended to make me one of them. And then the previous occupant of this room, someone who had been given a name. There was too much I didn't understand. But the faces of the two of them, searching for that kodomo in the yoru. And then the faces of the two of them, when they gave up, saying, "It's fine now." That they look very, very lonely. Even small me understood. Surely that kodomo must have been very important to them. The kind Kaibutsu had said, "It's not like I intended to make you a replacement for that kodomo, but I will live from now on with that in mind. After all, I have nowhere to go back to, because there's nothing else I can do to repay them right now. If I do that, will the two of them, those two Kaibutsu, be a little happy? Will even the not-so-kind Kaibutsu, who is a little strict with me, smile at me? I still don't want to see anyone make a sad face."
今日から私たちは三人家族だ。
I thought of the Kaibutsu who had said that and smiled. Kazuku. Well, maybe this was Kazuku kicking all this time. Anyway, from today, we are a Kazuku of tree. In the warm bed, I repeated my newly given name over and over, whispering it.
"私も二人にお名前を送ってもいい？"
Wait, I'm thinking I should stop now. This is a natural stopping point. Like, it's almost 11, and I haven't been getting a lot of sleep, so I should get some sleep. I wasn't able to start early today, but I need my brain tomorrow. All right, I'll stop here. We'll continue again tomorrow. I hope you guys are watching, and I'll see you guys on the next upload. Ciao.
じゃなく明日へ踏み出す背中をそっと押す昨日から届く贈り物だよ春風吹くこの場所で新しい舞台の上重ねた手と手をもう二度と離さずに二人で今歩き出そう終わらない物語を